This video is about she was his bond, but her pack wanted him dead. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. ***, she was his bond, but her pack wanted him dead. ***. The moon hung low in the sky, its silvery glow spilling over the rugged landscape like a liquid dream. Within the heart of Eldergrove Forest, where shadows danced with the whispers of ancient trees, a lone wolf stood sentinel. His name was Kale, alpha of the Silver Moon Pack, known for his steadfast courage and fierce loyalty. But tonight, a storm brewed not just in the heavens, but in his heart. The scent of pine mingled with the metallic tang of tension as Kale turned, his silver fur glistening against the darkened foliage. He breathed deeply, the air thick with the familiar scent of danger, laced with the sweetness that belonged only to one Leora. Leora was different. An omega of the Nightshade Pack, she embodied grace and strength, her spirit as wild as the moonlit sky. They had met in secret, a forbidden dance between two worlds that should never intertwine. Every moment shared had ignited a fire within Kale, a longing that pulsed through his veins like the rhythm of the moon's pull. But their love was a fragile blossom in a tempest. Her pack had made it clear any bond with a Silver Moon wolf was a death sentence. The Nightshade Pack viewed them as rivals, and their hatred was so deep that it could sever souls. Kale's thoughts spiraled back to their last meeting, where the air had crackled with unspoken words. Leora had looked at him with eyes that held galaxies, yet shadows lurked there too. "We can keep doing this, Kale," she had whispered, her voice trembling like autumn leaves. "My pack, they'll never accept you." His heart had ached at that moment, unable to bear the weight of her fear. "They don't see you, Leora. They don't understand what we have," he had replied, longing to pull her close, to shield her from the shadows of her pack. But she had turned away, the pain of their bond evident on her face. "I can be the reason for your death, Kale," she had murmured, stepping away into the night, leaving him standing alone, the ache of loss blooming in his chest. Tonight, he would not let her slip away again. Determined, he ventured deeper into Nightshade territory, where the scent of danger coiled in the air like a serpent. The moon cast their shadows, turning familiar paths into treacherous roads. As he approached the edge of their territory, he heard a rustle. His heart quickened, instincts sharpening. He shifted into the shadows, muscles tense, ready to defend. Through the foliage, he caught sight of her Leora, radiant and fierce, her dark locks flowing like midnight waves. The sight of her made his heart soar and plummet all at once. "Kale," she gasped, her eyes wide with a mixture of relief and horror. "What are you doing here? You shouldn't have come." "Leora, I had to see you," he said, stepping into the moonlight. He could feel the tension crackling like static between them, as powerful as the pull of the moon. "You were risking everything," she hissed, glancing over her shoulder, anxiety etching lines on her brow. "If my pack catches you..." "They won't," he interrupted, stepping closer. "I won't let them hurt you. I fight the whole world for you." The weight of his words hung between them, rich with unspoken promises. Leora's breath caught, and for a moment the world around them faded. But her expression darkened. "Kale, it's not just about us, it's about our packs. Then let us change it together," he urged, reaching for her hand, the warmth of her skin igniting a fire within him. "You know we belong together." Tears glimmered in her eyes, but she shook her head, a fierce resolve masking her heartache. "We rebound by our destinies, Kale, but they were not aligned. They'll never allow it." Suddenly, a rustle shattered their moment. The air thickened with impending danger as figures emerged from the tree's Nightshade warriors, their eyes gleaming with hostility. Kale instinctively stepped in front of Leora, a growl rumbling from his chest. "Get away from her," he warned, the alpha within him surging to the forefront, fierce and protective. "Alpha of Silver Moon, here in our territory," one warrior sneered, his voice a dagger. "You be brave, or foolish." "Leave her out of this," Kale growled, his gaze unwavering. "She is ours, Wolf. You think you can take her?" Another growled, stepping forward, teeth bared. Leora's hand found Kale's arm, her touch grounding him amid the chaos. "Please, don't fight it," she started, but Kale's instincts were raging, the protective alpha roaring within him. "We'll see who is worthy of her," the warrior spat, lunging forward. In a blur of fear and instinct, Kale leapt into action, muscles coiling like springs. The fight erupted, swift and brutal, each blow echoing the turmoil of their hearts. Leora watched in horror as Kale defended himself against multiple foes, the weight of his love and duty pressing upon him like a bitter storm. With every strike, Kale felt the anger swell, not just for himself, but for the love he couldn't afford to lose. He fought savagely, fueled by the heartache of a love deemed forbidden, but every hit he exchanged only served to deepen the rift between them. "Gale," Leora cried, desperation lacing her voice. "Stop, please, sir." Her voice cut through the chaos, a lifeline that pierced the storm. He froze, the weight of her plea crashing over him. The warriors hesitated, sensing the tension in the air. "Enough." Leora stepped forward, her voice steady, despite the tremors coursing through her. "I refuse to let this continue." "They want you to suffer," Cale said, his eyes pleading with her, but her gaze hardened. "I'll endure whatever they ask of me if it means you alive." Her words broke him, resonating with a heartbreaking finality. "Your pack will never accept him," one warrior growled, eyes narrowed, as if reveling in their torment. "You know this." "Math." Leora's voice rang out like a bell, clear and resolute. "I will not choose between love and family. I will find a way." Cale's heart both soared and shattered at her words. "You don't have to choose. We can fight this together," he insisted, stepping toward her, grasping her hand tightly. But the warriors surged forward again, anger igniting their hearts. "She is betraying her own," one shouted, lunging for Leora. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted anew. Cale felt the world shift as he shielded Leora, their connection pulsing with a desperate urgency. Wouldn't he let her be taken? Wouldn't he let their love be extinguished? "Run," he shouted to her, but she refused to leave his side, standing strong even as the fight raged around them. Together, they were a beacon of defiance against their destinies. "We're stronger together," Leora cried, her voice cutting through the frenzy. But the battle grew fiercer, the warriors relentless. Cale's muscles screamed as he fought, every instinct screaming to protect her. "You need to go," he shouted again, heart pounding, desperation clawing at him. Tears streamed down her face, but she remained steadfast. "I will not abandon you, Cale. Together, we can change our fate." In that moment of chaos, a decision that could alter their destinies, Cale realized that love was worth fighting for, even when the world conspired against them. With every ounce of strength, he pushed back against the tide of hatred, armed with the bond that tethered them, a force more powerful than any pack could comprehend. And as the moon bathed them in a silvery light, the first step into an uncertain future began to unfold before them. A destiny forged in defiance, and a love that refused to be silenced. Together, they would challenge the very stars that had conspired to keep them apart. Asterisk, she was his bond, but her pack wanted him dead. Part 2, asterisk. The bitter chill of the night air was thick with tension, every rustle of leaves a reminder of the danger that surrounded them. Cale and Leora stood back to back, breaths mingling in the cool air as they faced their attackers. The warriors of the Nightshade Pack encircled them, their eyes gleaming with disdain and fury. "Together!" Cale growled, his voice a low rumble, instinctively pulling Leora closer. Their hands remained clasped, a lifeline between their hearts. "No matter what happens, we won't let them tear us apart. We can let them win, Cale." Leora's voice was fierce, filled with a determination that made his heart swell even in the direst of moments. "This isn't just about us anymore, it's about breaking the chains of hatred that bind our packs." From the shadows, the lead warrior stepped forward, his gaze sharp and taunting. "What a touching sentiment, little Omega, but love won't save you or your precious Alpha." His lips curled into a cruel smirk. "You think you can defy the Nightshade Pack?" Cale's wolf surged to the surface, primal instincts demanding to be unleashed. "You will pay for your arrogance," he growled, muscles tightening as he prepared for another clash. The air crackled with energy, the very essence of the moon guiding his fury. "Stand down, Cale." Leora's voice cut through the tension, fierce and unwavering. "We won't resort to violence. This isn't who we are." "Who are you?" the lead warrior sneered. "You are a traitor to your kind. You think the LL forgave you for this? The LL have to choose." Leora's voice rang with conviction, and Cale felt the pulse of her strength flow into him. "This hate ends tonight. We will not live in fear of each other any longer." The tension snapped like a taut string, and in that moment of resolve, a heartbeat of silence enveloped them. The warriors hesitated, their postures shifting as the weight of Leora's words settled over them. "Do you dare challenge the traditions of the Nightshade Pack?" Another warrior scoffed, disbelief flickering in his eyes. Cale seized the moment to step forward, emboldened by Leora's strength. "Yes, we do. We challenge the fear that has kept us apart for centuries. You've lost sight of what it means to be united, to love without bounds." But just as hope flickered in their hearts, a voice cut through the air like ice. "Enough." It was Alden, the Nightshade Alpha, emerging from the shadows like a storm, his presence commanding and fierce. The warriors instinctively stepped back, awe and fear intertwining in their expressions. Cale's heart raced. Alden was a force to be reckoned with, a wolf whose reputation for brutality preceded him. "Leora," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "You dare speak against your own alpha? You dare to stand with him?" "I stand for what is right." Leora's voice was a beacon of defiance amidst the darkness. "Love should not be a crime. We deserve a chance to rewrite our destinies, Father. It doesn't have to be this way." Alden's eyes narrowed, a predatory gleam flashing through them. "And if I choose to punish you for your betrayal?" Cale stepped forward, unyielding as he met Alden's gaze. "You'll have to go through me first. I am not afraid of your wrath." Alden laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the forest. "You think bravery will save you? You are just a lone wolf in a pack of shadows. You can protect her forever." Leora's grip tightened around Cale's hand, her eyes filled with fear and defiance. "We be stronger together than your hatred will ever be, Alden. Love transcends bloodlines, and we will not let your traditions dictate our fate." Cale could sense the tension boiling beneath the surface, a storm ready to erupt. The warriors shifted restlessly, caught in the crossfire of loyalty and love. He felt Leora's heart racing against his, a rhythm that echoed his own. "Enough." Alden's voice rose like thunder, silencing the moment. "If you want to protect her, Alpha of Silvermoon, you'll face the consequences of your actions. I will not allow this defiance to fester within my pack." The warriors snarled, their instincts ignited by the Alpha's command. Cale prepared for the onslaught, heart racing, but Leora stepped forward again, her voice trembling yet resolute. "If you want to destroy us for loving each other, then so be it. But know this, Alden, you may take my body, but you will never claim my spirit." She was a flame in the dark, a light that flickered defiantly against the encroaching shadows. Cale's heart swelled with love and admiration, the bond between them shimmering through the chaos. Alden took a step back, surprise flickering across his features. "You would choose a wolf with the Silvermoon over your own blood?" "Yes." Leora's voice rang out, strong and unwavering. "I will choose love every time. This feud has torn apart lives for too long. I refuse to let it destroy ours." With a howl of defiance, Cale lunged forward, ready to defend Leora against whatever Alden would throw at them. "We will not be your pawns any longer." But Alden raised a hand, halting the warriors with a single gesture. "If you wish to defy me, then face the consequences. I will not stand by while you both threaten the peace of our packs." "What will you do?" Cale challenged, fury igniting inside him, ready to fight for the woman he loved. "I will give you one chance," Alden said, tension thickening the air. "Prove your love is worth the risk. You have until the next full moon to unite our packs or face the wrath of my judgment. But know this, if you fail, Leora will return to the Nightshade pack, bound by blood and tradition." And you, he looked at Cale, teeth bared. "I will not survive my wrath." The weight of his words sank into Cale's chest, a dark burden he had not anticipated. "You can Enough." Alden's voice rang out, final like a guillotine. "You have until the next full moon. Use that time wisely, because if you fail, I will claim my daughter back, and you, Cale, will pay the ultimate price for your defiance." Cale felt the world tilt beneath him, the stakes rising impossibly high. Leora turned to him, eyes shimmering with fear and determination. "We'll find a way, Cale. We have to." "Yes, we will," he promised, squeezing her hand tighter, heart racing with the urgency of their plight. "Together, we will unite our packs. I won't lose you." As the warriors retreated into the shadows, Cale and Leora stood together, the weight of their fate looming heavy upon their hearts. Beneath the shimmering light of the moon, they felt the fragile threads of destiny tugging at them, binding their souls in ways the world could never understand. With every heartbeat, the stakes rose higher, the time ticking down like a relentless clock. They had until the next full moon, a celestial deadline that would either forge a new path for their love or shatter their lives forever. But alongside the uncertainty lay a fierce hope, an ember of love that refused to be extinguished. Together, they would challenge the very fabric of fate, and in the depths of their souls, they knew their love was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. And as they stepped into the unknown, the forest around them fell silent, a witness to a love story destined to change everything. Asterisk, she was his bond, but her pack wanted him dead. Part 3 asterisk. The moon hung high, casting silvery beams through the canopy of eldergrove forest, illuminating the tangled path that lay ahead for Cale and Leora. The air was thick with anxiety, every breath they took laced with a potent mix of hope and dread. They had until the next full moon to unite their packs, but the weight of that ultimatum pressed heavily upon their hearts. "Cale," Leora whispered, her voice barely breaking the stillness of the night. "What if we fail? What if Alden is right, and our love isn't enough to change anything?" Cale turned to her, his heart aching at the vulnerability in her eyes. The thought of losing her was unbearable, but he wouldn't let fear dim the light of her spirit. "We will not fail, Leora, I swear it," he said, his voice steady, infused with an intensity that made her heart flutter. "We will gather allies, make them see that we are stronger united than divided." Leora looked away, her brow furrowing as she considered the enormity of their task. But how do we convince them? After all this time, they were so deeply entrenched in their hatred for each other, they want to just accept us. His hands brushed over her shoulders, grounding her in his warmth. "We'll show them, love isn't weakness, it is strength. If we can change their hearts, we'll change their minds." A flicker of determination ignited in her eyes, but doubt lingered like a shadow. "And if Alden refuses to listen, he'll never allow a union between our packs." Kael's gaze hardened. "Then we fight, together." A soft rustle in the underbrush caught their attention, and Kael's instincts fled, muscles tensed in preparation for confrontation. But it was only Ash, his loyal beta, emerging from the shadows, eyes wide with urgency. "Alpha, Leora, I've been searching for you everywhere." Kael relaxed slightly, though the tension still buzzed in the air. "What is it, Ash?" "The pack has been on high alert since the confrontation," Ash said, glancing around nervously. "Alden has sent scouts into our territory. They're looking for you both." His gaze flicked to Leora. "You need to leave now." Leora's heart pounded in her chest, fear threatening to swallow her whole. "But I can't go back, not now. I have to help Kael." "Your safety is paramount," Ash replied, his voice firm but laced with concern. "We can't risk your life for the bond you share. You are still a part of the Nightshade pack. They will hunt you down." Kael stepped in front of Leora, his protective instincts flaring. "If they want her, they'll have to go through me first. I want to let them take her away again." Leora placed a trembling hand on his arm, her touch a soothing balm against the rising tide of fury within him. "Kael, listen to Ash. We can't be reckless. We need a plan, not fight." "Then we need to gather support," Kael said, stepping back, though his eyes still burned with the fire of his determination. "We can't let fear dictate our actions. We need to face Alden, but we must do so wisely." "We'll head back to Silvermoon and gather our allies," Ash suggested, and Kael nodded, his resolve firming. "We can hold a meeting under the full moon. If we can present a united front, we might sway some of the more open-minded among us." Leora's heart raced with renewed hope at the thought of forming alliances with those who might understand their plight. "Yes, if we can show them how love transcends our pack's differences, maybe they'll see reason." But as they prepared to move deeper into the woods, Kael's senses tingled with unease. "Wait," he murmured, halting them in their tracks. Shadows played tricks on the edges of his vision, and the air grew thick with an unshakable sense of impending doom. A low growl echoed through the trees, and Kael's instinct screamed for him to protect Leora. "Get behind me," he ordered, every muscle in his body coiling tight. "Kael, Now," she snapped, a fierce protectiveness surging through him as he faced the forest's edge. A dark figure emerged from the shadows, muscles rippling beneath a coat of black fur. It was one of Alden's warriors, eyes glinting with malice. "Caught you both in a compromising position, haven't we?" The warrior sneered, shifting from foot to foot, ready to strike. "Leave her out of this," Kael growled, stepping forward, his fangs bared. "You want me? Take me, but you will not touch her." The warrior let out a chilling laugh. "You think I am afraid of you, Silvermoon? This is merely a taste of what is to come. You've stood the ire of our alpha. You have no idea the storm you've unleashed." "We go back and tell Alden that our love will not be extinguished by fear," Leora shouted, her voice fierce despite the tremors in her hands. "We will unite our packs, and he will not stop us." "Your words are empty, little Omega. You are a traitor to your kind, and Alden will see you pay for it." He lunged forward, teeth bared, and Kael moved instinctively, leaping in front of Leora and colliding with the warrior in a brutal clash. The fight erupted, a flurry of fur and claws, each blow echoing the tumult of their hearts. Kael fought fiercely, fueled by rage and love, determined to protect the woman he cherished. But as he grappled with the warrior, he felt Leora's spirit intertwining with his, a bond that made him invincible. "Kael," Leora cried, the urgency in her voice cutting through the chaos. "Focus, we can't let him win." In that moment, clarity washed over him. He could feel the pulse of their bond thrumming through the air, a powerful magic that surged in response to their love. Together, he shouted, and Leora nodded, a fierce light igniting in her eyes. Drawing upon their bond, they synchronized their movements, Kael charging forward while Leora flanked the warrior. Their instincts melded, and the world around them faded into a blur of colors and sensations. The warrior hesitated, confusion flashing in his eyes as he was caught between two forces of nature. With one powerful strike, Kale pinned the warrior down, his growl resonating through the forest. Leora stood beside him, her presence a shield of strength as they faced their foe together. "We are stronger together than you will ever understand," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. The warrior sneered, but the uncertainty in his gaze told a different story. "You may have won this fight, but the war is far from over." With a savage snarl, he broke free, retreating into the shadows of the trees. Leora fell against Kale, breathless and trembling, but a fire burned in her eyes. "Did you see that? We fought as one." Kale wrapped his arms around her, heart racing from adrenaline and the undeniable power of their connection. "We can do this, Leora. We can unite our packs. We were destined for this. What if they don't listen? What if Alden refuses to see reason? Then we show them our love is worth fighting for. Together, we'll prove it," he promised, pressing his forehead against hers, feeling the warmth of her breath against his skin. As they stood entwined beneath the moonlight, the shadows of doubt retreated, leaving only the fierce glow of love that surrounded them. They had faced the first wave of Alden's wrath and emerged victorious. But as they turned to leave, Kale couldn't shake the feeling that the real battle was still ahead. They had to gather their allies, face the storm brewing in both packs, and stake their claim on a future that had been denied to them for far too long. The journey would be fraught with challenges, betrayal lurking in the shadows, but their love burned brighter than the darkness that sought to pull them apart. Each step forward was a defiance of fate, a fight against a legacy of fear, and he wouldn't back down. "We'll gather our strength," Kale said, a fierce determination igniting in his spirit. "We'll meet under the full moon, and we will show them the power of love." Leora nodded, her eyes shining with belief. "Yes, we will, together." As they moved deeper into the forest, the moon illuminated their path, a guiding light leading them toward their destiny, toward a love that defied the very fabric of their worlds. They would face whatever trials awaited them together as one. And beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, they dared to dream of a future where love could conquer all. ***, she was his bond, but her pack wanted him dead. Part 4 ***. The days stretched on like an endless shadow, each passing moment filled with an urgency that gnawed at Kale's heart. Underneath the glow of the moon, Leora and he had laid out their plans, their fingers entwined, promising to face the storm together. Yet, lurking in the darkness, the reality of Walden's threat loomed heavier than ever. As the next full moon approached, tension crackled in the air. Kale stood at the meeting point near the edge of Silvermoon territory, his heart pounding with anticipation. He had gathered a handful of brave souls from his pack wolves willing to stand with him, ready to defy the odds. But would it be enough? "Kale." Ash's voice broke through his thoughts, urgency lacing his tones. "They were coming." Kale turned to see Ash, breathless and wild-eyed, followed by a small group of warriors, their fur bristling with anxiety. "Who?" he asked, heart racing. "The Nightshade Scouts. They've come to spy on us. Alden is not taking your defiance lightly. He has sent more wolves to keep an eye on you both." "Then we'll show them what it means to be united," Kale declared, his voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside him. "Gather everyone, we need to make a stand." As Ash spread the word, Kale's mind drifted to Leora, his heart aching with both love and longing. He could feel her presence even from a distance, a tether that called to him in the quiet of the night. But the weight of their circumstances pressed heavily on his shoulders. Would she be safe? Moments later, Leora arrived, her essence illuminating the dimly lit clearing. She was breathless, her hair wild and free, eyes filled with determination. "Kale," she breathed, urgency painting her features. "I heard. What is happening?" "We were going to confront Alden's scouts. We need to show everyone that our love can bridge this divide," he asserted, gripping her shoulders with fervor. "Are you ready?" Leora stepped back, uncertainty flickering across her face. "What if they reject us, Kale? What if Alden uses this against us?" "Then we'll stand together, no matter what," he replied, determination woven into every word. "We'll show them that love can conquer even the deepest hatred." The moon hung overhead, a luminous witness to their vow. The air crackled with tension as members of both packs began to converge in the clearing, eyes darting with uncertainty. Kale felt their doubts like shadows threatening to engulf their resolve. As the last of the Silvermoon warriors arrived, Kale called for silence. "Tonight, we stand united. Our love is stronger than the hatred that has kept us apart. With Leora by my side, I believe we can forge a new path, one where our packs can coexist." Murmurs rippled through the gathered crowd. Some faces betrayed skepticism, while others mirrored a flicker of hope. "Why should we trust a wolf from the Silvermoon?" the voice called out. It was Breeden, a notorious warrior from the Nightshade Pack, his eyes filled with contempt. You think love can change centuries of rivalry? Foolish. Cale felt the anger flare inside him, but tempered it with calm. No one said it would be easy, but love is worth fighting for. It is not weakness, but the greatest strength. With Leora, I am whole. Without her, I am nothing. Leora stepped beside him, her voice steady despite the tremors of fear. We have suffered too long. The feud has claimed lives on both sides, innocent lives. Is this how we want to continue? In fear and hatred, or shall we rise together? A murmur of agreement began to spread, rising like a tide. But Breeden scoffed, crossing his arms. What if your love is a lie? What if Alden is right, and you are putting your pack in danger? Then let him come, Cale challenged, heart racing. Let him see the power of our bond. Let him witness the love that can change everything. But before the spirits could rise further, a dark figure emerged. It was Alden, his presence an icy chill that swept through the clearing. I see you reassemble quite the little rebellion, he sneered, eyes narrowed and steely. Cale's muscles tensed, instinct screaming for him to protect Leora. This is between us, Alden. You don't belong here. On the contrary, Alden replied, voice dripping with malice. I am here to remind you of the consequences of defiance. He turned his gaze to Leora, a predatory gleam in his eyes. And you, daughter of Shandar Pack, you will pay for your betrayal. Leora stood firm, defiant shining in her eyes. I will not return to the shadows of fear. Father, you can dictate my life. My heart belongs with Cale. Alden stepped closer, the air around him thick with tension. You think your love will shield you from the truth. You are a traitor to your kind, and I will not tolerate it. Cale could feel the fury boiling within him, every fiber of his being ready to defend Leora. If you seek to harm her, you'll have to go through me first, he growled, shifting closer, muscles coiled and ready for a fight. You think so highly of yourself, Alden scoffed, stepping back, calculating. But this is your last chance, Silvermoon. If you wish to save her from my wrath, you must prove your love is real. Face me in a challenge at the next full moon. Win, and I will allow your packs to unite. Lose, and I will reclaim my daughter and destroy you. The stakes had never been higher, and the weight of Alden's words pressed down like a heavy shroud. Cale could feel Leora's fingers tremble in his grasp, and the fear in her eyes mirrored his own. We'll accept your challenge, Cale declared, voice firm, cutting through the uncertainty. We will prove our bond is unbreakable. Alden's lips curled into a cruel smile. Then prepare, for I will not hold back. The full moon will decide your fate. As Alden retreated into the shadows, tension crackled through the gathered wolves. Fear and uncertainty hung heavy in the air, but amidst it all, Cale felt fire igniting in his chest. We can do this, he declared, meeting Leora's gaze, determination blazing in his eyes. Together. Leora's breath caught, heart racing as she gazed back at him. But what if we don't win, Cale? What if I am taken from you? No, he whispered, cupping her face in his hands, feeling the warmth of her skin against his. You have to believe in us. We can let fear dictate our actions. Love is more powerful than any feud. The weight of that challenge loomed over them, but as he held her gaze, he felt their bond pulsing with an ancient magical force that could transcend time and fate. We'll train, he said, resolve hardening. We will prepare ourselves for the fight of our lives. Days turned into a blur of sweat and determination. Under the watchful glow of the moon, Cale and Leora trained relentlessly, pushing their limits. Each clash and moment of vulnerability deepened their connection, the air around them shimmering with unspoken promises. With every strike, they grew stronger, their spirits intertwining like vines reaching for the light. Cale felt Leora's spirit feeding into him, and with each passing day, they became an unstoppable force. But with every moment of triumph, the threat of Alden's wrath loomed ever larger. And then came the night of the full moon, the air thick with anticipation and fear. As they gathered once more at the clearing, tension hung like a coiled spring. Cale stood before the assembled packs, heart racing, determination coursing through him. Alden emerged from the shadows, eyes gleaming with cruel anticipation, flanked by warriors who had come to witness the challenge. You are brave to face me, Silvermoon, he sneered, voice low and dangerous. But bravery will not save you. Cale stepped forward, his heart pounding, but he felt Leora's steady presence behind him, grounding him. We are more than just wolves in a feud. We are bonded by something powerful. The air shimmered as Alden launched forward, teeth bared, a whirlwind of fury. But Cale stood his ground, the pulse of their love thrumming through him. With a primal roar, he met Alden's charge, their bodies colliding in a whirlwind of fur, teeth, and claws. The fight erupted, visceral and raw, each blow reverberating with the weight of their past and hopes for the future. The clearing echoed with growls and cries, the stakes rising with every clash. Cale fought with ferocity, fueled by love and the desire to protect what was his. Alden was a force of nature, but Cale was unyielding, every strike guided not just by instinct but by the bond he shared with Lior. "I will not let you take her," he roared.